little tip on some nutrition that we can include in our diets on a, more regular basis. So, first of all, one of the things that impact or our hormone balances would be stress. Beautiful, lovely, I hate you stress. And I think we probably, some of us at the moment can definitely deal with stress in our own unique and different ways. And one day it's good, one day it's not so good, one day it's, whatever. And so few ways to look at your stress and to deal with your stress would be to really make a commitment to move your body in some way, shape or form. Now, for some of us, it's yoga. For some of us it's Pilates. For some of us, it's running a marathon around and around the perimeter of your house. It's so funny. My brother is in South Africa and they obviously are in proper lockdown. And they weren't even allowed to go outside to walk their dogs. But he's got a roundabout, like a, it's not really a roundabout now. It's a circle because it's a circle, the house, it's this little island in the middle and then there's all these houses around. And they sneakily, because it's so remote, sneakily decided to run a half marathon around this little circle. And look, you will be flat out having a kilometer around that roundabout. So I took my hats off to them. So whatever floats your boat, however you need to move your body. But sometimes it's really just fantastic to turn on some music in the house and dance like nobody is watching you. It is amazing, those endorphins that just flood your body, and it's got to put a smile on your face. So find what doesn't feel like work for you. Some people love doing a HIIT session. I can't think of anything worse. I don't like to be purple in my face at all. So everybody is different. So you do what's right for you. Another way to deal with stress would be just a little bit of quiet time. Now, again, that looks different for each person. One person meditates for 5 minutes and that's about it. Some people can go and sit down for 45 to an hour. Some people prefer to pray. Some people walk, meditate. So again, however that quiet time, just to kind of breathe and reset a little bit, however that looks for you. And then another thing that we can do is write it out. Write what you're thankful for. Write what upset you and the lesson that you could possibly learn from that. Write just whatever pops in your head. Again, I'm not going to tell you that you need to keep a gratitude journal. I'm not going to tell you to keep anything. Just let it out in some way, shape or form. Burn it afterwards if that floats your boat. Keep it under your pillow for another day. Sew it into a teddy bear if you need. Just find a way to get it out of yourselves. Now, another factor that impacts our hormonal imbalances is something that I call disordered eating. Now, again, that is going to look different for everybody. How do you feel when you eat something? Does it make you feel good? Does it make you feel bad? If it makes you feel bad and you eat it again and again and again, I'm thinking that we're going to look at disordered eating there because you're not getting any pleasure out of it. It's not serving you. So we get still, listen to your body and figure out those things that are not serving you for the greater good. We all know which things trigger us. Do we like to admit it? Oh, no. I'm sitting here and I had a second helping of dinner and I really didn't need to. And I so wanted an ice cream afterwards. And now I can't have that ice cream because my belly is too full. So Little disordered eating happening tonight. Another thing, and this could be a little bit controversial, but I'm going to drop it in your midst and do some research about this, because I'm not going to give you all the answers. That's no fun. Go and see what you can find. The hormonal birth control. Now, for some of us, it's not an issue anymore. We don't have to worry about it. We don't even think about it. Some of us is starting on the journey. Some of us are midway to the journey. But please do your own research about hormonal birth control. Are you doing the best thing for your body? Are you on the best possible solution? Have you ever had the discussion with your healthcare provider? Think about that, because it does have an effect on your hormones. Whether it's good or bad, also something that you can go and investigate. I'm just going to drop it there. And then another thing is, unfortunately, weight gain really, it just affects us greatly. So let's see what we can do about some of those things. Before I go on, I've come across a really lovely hormone balance blend. Oh, yeah, blend that you can certainly look at. You can massage 2 or 4 drops into your abdomen, temples, and the bottom of your feet, if you like. You can ingest as needed, if you like. And you can inhale from your capped hands, if you like. Now, what we are looking at here is, number 1, the Women's Monthly Blend, which is Claricalm. Please don't take this internally. It's not intended for that at all. The other ones that I'm going to mention now, you can use as flavoring enhancers. Is that what we're calling it? I'm trying to be politically correct here. Yeah. So we've got clary sage, ylang ylang, good old frankincense, and sandalwood. So I think those ones, or some of those, or a combination of those, especially the clary sage, ylang ylang, frankie, and sandalwood, would be beautiful in a diffuser. That would smell really lovely. And then a couple of oils that's really great to assist when stress is a little bit of an issue. Peace, I find very calming, reassuring. Our grounding blend, which is balance, lavender, frankincense, and my absolute go-to oil at the moment. I do not go a day without it. And from here all the way up to here, I lather it on myself every day, and that's Rose Touch. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I spent an amazing amount. Pardon?
What about adaptive? I was sort of looking back at the stress.
You cannot go past adaptive. It is a go-to blend for me. I spend a lot of time in front of the computer these days, and my diffuser is sitting right next to my computer, and it's definitely a go-to at least 2 or 3 times a week. Because not only does it calm me down, and yeah, really calms me down, it is as if it's also intensifying my focus. So it is an incredible blend. I cannot rave about it enough. It's fantastic.
I love it because it gives you, I guess, that quiet demeanor, but it doesn't impair your alertness at all. So in fact, it intensifies your alertness. So you can deal with whatever crisis is going on in a dignified, ladylike manner. So, which I think is there's a lot to be said for that. So yeah, adaptive and the adaptive soft gels. I was without those for about 3 weeks. I started on those in October to take them on a daily basis. And then I'd run out and hadn't sort of ordered and whatnot. Anyway, I was without those for 3 weeks, and I noticed a phenomenal phenomenal difference in my mood. You know, I sort of went back down that rabbit hole again and things like that. So not a day goes by without taking those. Now, some people take those adaptive soft gels in the morning, like I do, because it gets me through the day. And other people take them at night time to help them with their sleep. So yeah, definitely the adaptive, that's for sure. It smells amazing, amazing.
Oh, totally love it. All right, so let's look at some effective ways to restore hormonal balance. Most of these things I'm hoping that we've heard about and we are already incorporating into our lives. Maybe some we have forgotten about. So let's kick it off. Number one is opt for clean beauty and skincare. Now we're in a very lucky position because we have got some absolutely beautiful skincare ranges with doTERRA. Personal favorite is Barrage for me. And then definitely the hydrating cream. But yes, we have some beautiful skincare. And also, don't forget to rate your fridge and your pantry when it comes to skincare. Avocado, oats, honey, just a few that comes to mind. Absolutely beautiful and calming and nourishing and moisturizing for your skin. Coconut sugar with a little bit of coconut oil with a drop of wild orange, scrubbing the lips. Beautiful. Ooh. And tastes good too. So if it accidentally goes down your gob, doesn't matter. All right, next thing to do is to minimize the use of plastic. I don't know how many of you are on the journey of trying to get rid of plastic from your house. Opt for glass, opt for, they still mention PBA-free plastic. I'm trying to really move away from plastic completely. It's not good for me, it's not good for my family, it's definitely not good for the environment. So I try to avoid it wherever possible. It's tough at times, you know, it's easy to replace your drink bottle, it's easy to replace, you know, your Tupperware and replace it with glass. It is a lot harder when you go shopping and you get more conscious about it, how much packaging can be around places. So try to become aware, not just for the environment, but really for yourself and getting that plastic out of your life. Purify and decorate with plants. And good old Purify essential oil is also a favorite in my house, so, you know, remember that one. But two plants jump out at me, and it's the snake plant and the pothos ivy. Now, both of those remove common environmental toxins from your house. And then you've got the added benefit of it brightening your home, and it will enhance your energy and lift your mood as well. It's really great to have that greenery going in your house. So think about the plants. Bring it inside. Let's bring Mother Earth inside. All right, then I'm promoting, or not promoting, but I'm, you know, again, use a water filter. Tap water often contains chemicals that can contribute to poor liver function, which is not something that people often talk about. And that definitely throws off your body's pH level and comes to hormones being all disrupted. So look into that, get the best that you can afford, or be conscious about that. Look, they range from really nice and cheap sitting on your tap to dealing with your whole house. So do your research about that. Look at the water that you consume. Now, talking about the liver, let's go to incorporating some liver supporting foods and herbs. So a few that comes to mind, and the reason why we kind of need to look at that is because it enhances the liver's ability to eliminate toxins from your body, which is really important when it comes to hormonal balance. So we're looking at beets, citrus fruits, avocados, my utmost favorite, artichokes, milk thistle, dandelion root, good old turmeric, and chlorophyll are just a few that is really probably some of the top picks, I would say. And then the last thing that is fairly easy to do is to make your own natural products at home. And again, we are very fortunate where we've got this beautiful range of essential oils that can help us to make our own cleaners and sanitizers. I think everybody's Facebook and Instagram have been flooded with homemade hand sanitizer recipes these last month or two. And, you know, sometimes as simple as water, a bit of vinegar, some lemon oil, and off you go. But my go-to is the On Guard Cleaner Concentrate, but everybody, some people's level of, what's the word I'm looking for? Do-it-yourselfing is a lot better than mine. Rightio. So let's talk a little bit about nutrition. Now, these are things that really will enhance hormone function and sometimes very often the thyroid function. And again, to discover whether that is something that you need to do or not to do, please talk to a healthcare provider. I'm also quite happy for you to have a chat to me afterwards and we can look at those things, but let's make it a bit easier and I'll just go through some of them. How am I going for time? Oh, I better do these ones quick. Number one is to eat cooked, and I'm gonna put the emphasis on cooked cruciferous vegetables. And we're looking at broccoli, kale, cauliflower, collard greens, and you're gonna hate me for this one, Brussels sprouts.
No, they're nice.
Brussels sprouts, when cooked quickly and stir-fried rather than boiled to death, is actually quite a tasty veggie. And why do I say cooked? These foods are difficult to digest in their uncooked form. And to help with ease of digestion, to assist with absorption, it's just a far better way to cook them than to try and eat them raw. Broccoli, cauliflower, fantastic, massaged with some olive oil, a drop of lemon oil, a drop of black pepper oil, but you're gonna have to massage them for a good 5 odd minutes to get them really soft. So that would be a way that you can probably incorporate them into a salad, have them raw, but yeah, break down those tough exteriors and the enzymes to just make that digestion a lot easier.
So may I just ask, with regards to, especially to kale, and people are juicing and all sorts of things and are adding these things to their juices, so they're actually not helping the digestive process then, especially with kale.
Look, to be, you've kind of broken it down when you've done it in juice form. Now, it's also going to depend on which side of the hemisphere you are living now. We are moving down here into the cooler months. We need to look at warming foods. Cold foods, raw foods, things like that are really good when the temperature is hot. Not so when it is getting colder outside. You kind of want to nourish, keep your digestive fire going. And by putting cold foods in when you're already cold on the outside, it's really not helping yourself. And very often when people are juicing, it's really good to pop in a little bit of turmeric in there, fresh, or ginger. Ginger, again, warms it up and it ease of digestion again. And I've even noticed putting a fresh knob of ginger in my ice cold smoothies, it's nearly as if the smoothie is not quite as cold as what it would be without the ginger. And it's got that warming element in there. So when it hits your body on the inside, it continues the warming process. So yeah, try to remember the season that you're in and eat and drink accordingly. Another thing that we can do is to incorporate selenium-rich foods in our diet. Now that is because the trace minerals that support thyroid production is selenium. And Brazil nuts, mushrooms, chia seeds, very good quality, well-sourced red meat and fish. And by that I mean organic if possible, fish, wild caught if possible, and with the red meat also to have a natural diet, grass-fed and grass-finished. But very often that you will find grass-fed beef and then they're finished on grains just before they get sent to the slaughterhouse, and they're undoing all the good that they've done. So make sure you know where your meat is coming from. Next thing that we would like to look at is to consume a moderate amount of healthy fats. That is because it reduces inflammation in your body. So we're looking here at walnuts, flax seeds, and again, wild caught fish. But please don't overdo it. And I'm going to drop a little bomb here, and then I'm going to swiftly move on, and you can do with it whatever you like. Do your own research. Is high-fat diets, in brackets, keto, are correlated with thyroid dysfunction. So go and research that a little bit. Go look at that. I'm so sorry, but I had to do it. It is good for a short period of time. My opinion is that it's not good to sustain a lifetime lifestyle. But again, you know your body best. Do your research and decide whether I'm just blowing smoke here. Next, we need to seek out some sea vegetables. Now, these ones are because they have a natural source of iodine and other minerals, and that is very important for healthy metabolism. So you can look at nori, dulse, or kombu. It's a little bit foreign for most of us, but I'll give you those. Go and see what you can find. Most of us are very familiar with nori if we like seafood. Dulse and kombu is maybe a newie for you for some people. Then the last thing is fresh fermented foods. Kefir, kombucha, kimchi, and sauerkraut. And these ones are all important because it cultivates intestinal flora, which supports our gut function. And I'm sure that most of us here would can share a recipe for one or all four of those. I'm going to put you on the spot, and I'm sure, Berit, you would have a lovely sauerkraut recipe.
It's literally just cabbage and salt, and that's all. And then you rely on the yeast that's in the air, and that gets you to, if you need to, absolutely, Roisin, you just need to macerate it. And you can get the kids involved with that and stomp it and stuff like that. That used to be my job with my grandmother when we used to make them, when we used to have a really huge, really trough full of sauerkraut. That was, we'd have 2 of those. And, you know, I'd have to stomp. And, you know, my grandmother would put the salt down and another layer of cabbage. So that's as simple as it is. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that.
Very nice. I've tried it once with putting some fennel seeds through it. Lovely.
Fennel or caraway seeds. Caraway seeds will help digestion as well. So that's really kind of cool. Yeah, it helps the gassiness that some people experience with it. The caraway seed is going to reduce that. Well, fennel seeds will do the similar sort of thing. So,
yeah. Royson, I see that you asked about the IV. It's a Pothos IV, Pothos. What else have I missed? So I'm going to overdose on XE Omega soft gels. You can take that one, Baron.
4 is what we generally suggest. Is 2 in the morning, 2 at night, or 2 in the afternoon. That would be that's perfect. I don't think that you can. I wouldn't go above that because that's their recommended level.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. There we go. Yeah. Any other questions? I'm going to stop at that because, like I say, I can talk for days. I can go into all these different, we can always look at doing this again, and I can go into a little bit more detail in all the different, you know, different levels of hormone imbalances. But unless you really know what you're looking at, and unless you know what is affecting you, most of the conversation will be pointless, really.
Monica's just sent me a question: fresh rather than oils of ginger and turmeric in the juice. Karlien, would you?
It doesn't really matter. You can probably have a better control with the fresh ginger and fresh turmeric. The ginger, especially the oil, is quite potent unless you do it with a toothpick and swirl it through. It can very easily be very overwhelming. Unless you put it over ice cream, then it's really nice. And this is a standard joke. I've got to tell you guys this. My mum was married to an Italian, born in Rome, the most amazing man. I absolutely loved him to pieces. So ever since she married this Italian, I have referred to her as when she became Italian, because she changed completely once she became Italian. It was quite hilarious. And she was visiting us for 3 months last year, just before her very first, second grandchild. No, her very first great-grandchild was born. So, and we really joke with my mum because she puts olive oil, just drizzles it on her food, like most people will do soy sauce or tomato sauce or salt or pepper and things like that. She just drizzles olive oil everywhere. And my kids were making the joke with her, saying that she loves olive oil so much she will even put it on her ice cream. And she said, well, as a matter of fact, I do. We all went, what? And then we tried it. Oh my word. And then we had a cooking class at our monthly meetings, and one of our chefs, DoTERRA chefs, made a digest zen and raspberry, was it?
Yes.
Ice cream.
Yes.
My word, people, she had, I think, something like 10 or 11 drops of digest zen in this 2-liter ice cream. Oh, so unbelievable. And then because we were trying out ice cream with olive oil and digest zen, we then moved to just a drop of ginger with the ice cream and the olive oil. And what the olive oil does is it just really creamify the ice cream a little bit more. And then you put this drop of ginger in it, and you're getting this coldness coming into your mouth and then a warming sensation as it goes down. So I feel a lot less guilty about putting something so ice cold in my body, because it's not good for your digestion. So yeah, try it one day when you feel a little bit adventurous. Olive oil and a drop of ginger in your mouth.
I've done it.
Yes, she has. She was made to do it. She had no choice.
It was fun. Those cooking classes, I miss them. You need to let me know when she comes back over again.
Oh,
She's
I
just
will.
beautiful, beautiful woman. Roisin has asked about what about people with an allergy or sensitivity to iodine? Do you mean with regards to where is the iodine coming from? Or I'm not quite following, Roisin. Maybe you could elaborate.
Hi, no, I was just wondering because I one of my very active members, and she would very much like to try the Long Life Vitality, but she has an allergy to it, so I don't know really how to address that.
Right. Okay.
And also, I mean, we could talk about it offline or whatever, but also,
Sure.
I guess if I put on my group about the iodine that we recommended, like nori and kombu and stuff, is that kind of iodine different from other kinds? Do you know what I mean?
I'm going to go out and say that very often when you supplement with fresh produce, the way that it naturally comes from your food is always going to be better than some other supplement. Now, again, it's going to depend on the exact type of sensitivity that she has, whether it's going to affect her to have the lifelong vitality. That's something that, you know, I don't know, Barrett, maybe we can have a look at that separately from this. But yeah, the natural foods that it's you know, in is always sometimes better. But again, she can start with something small, just a little bit, and see how it affects her. Maybe discuss it with her healthcare provider on, you know, I would like to try a bit more of those products. How do you think it's going to affect me?
Awesome. Thank you.
All
Nice to
right.
meet you.
It is very nice to meet you. I see you pop up so often, so it's really nice to put a proper face to the
Too
name.
often.
There you go. There you go. So before we go, I thought we maybe just touch on things like Claricalm, you know, how we can really use that, especially young girls, how we can support them when they just turn into little monsters, you know, with the retractable sort of little horns. It's, you know, that time of the month. And I think the way really that most people find really useful is to just do the dot and the smiley face on the lower abdomen. And, you know, just once, twice a day, however often they feel the need to. I know that a lot of girls find, you know, the aroma of this blend is really lovely, and a lot of girls just simply use it as their perfume. So, you know, it's just nice and handy, and they've got the whole hormone balancing aspect, you know, from that as well. I have unfortunately thrown my tub out, but it's the phytoestrogen blend that you can get from the US. That's the supplement. And the phytoestrogen, what that is supposed to do is to balance out the good and bad estrogens. And as Karlien touched on, the fact that we have too many plastics in our life, which means we have false estrogens in our body, and it just throws our whole normal hormonal system into utter chaos. So we need something to kind of balance that out, and phytoestrogen does that by kind of stimulating, you know, achieving that sort of balance again. So that's a beautiful, beautiful product. I would highly recommend you try that if you feel that you just need something, you're just out of kilter and you just need something to kind of bring you back into balance again. And then women are, you know, this is one that I take as well. It's just a bone nutrient. And you're never too young to take this, to be perfectly honest. Especially if we've been on yo-yo diets and things like that. You know, we don't always lay down the calcium deposits in our bones to have really, really strong bones. And having, you know, observed my mother sneeze and break a bone, it's not, osteoporosis is not a joke by any stretch of the imagination. And, you know, ultimately she fell at the end of last year, and, you know, that was her sentence basically, and she passed away in January. So I'm really upping the ante now myself to really make sure that I get enough of this supplement into me. So this has vitamin D as well as vitamin C in it, and obviously calcium and all those beautiful supplements that we need to really, you know, support good, strong bones. And when you buy the bone nutrient and then the tub of phytoestrogen and the Claricalm together, those are all come in a pack together, and it's under the Women's Health banner. And, you know, that's really then an affordable, you know, combination. So well worth, you know, giving a go. The other thing that I wanted to just highlight before we go, it's an amazing book by Dr. Marisa Snyder. And she's amazing. Follow her on Instagram and Facebook. But, you know, the book is absolutely superb. And it goes through exactly the 5 pillars and things that Karlien touched on in terms of stress and, you know, nutrition, and making sure that the various organs that support hormone production, so your adrenals, your thyroid, all of those, that they are, you know, really nourished and balanced. So she suggests a lot of self-help rituals, a lot of oils. Obviously, this is the Essential Oils Hormone Solution book, so, you know, you expect a lot of beautiful remedies and things, or not so much remedies, but beautiful protocols in there to, again, just address, you know, rebalancing and things like that. If you want to look her up on her website is just drmariza.com. It's Dr. DRMARIZA.com. And she has got a podcast, and her latest podcast is actually all about menopause, and, you know, to get your mojo back during menopause and things like that. So she's got a whole stack of different podcasts there. So definitely something I would recommend to you know, sort of to tune into. So thank you so much, Karlien. So we've done a snap. I mean, I know hormones. I know I've got a whole stack of actually PowerPoints there, but it's just nice to actually listen to someone talk about that, and skincare and things like that. And if you want to have a skincare you know, webinar and you know, these kind of things, just send me a line, and we can address that as well during our, you know, amazing month of May dedicated to you know, to women. So get those oils out, put those on, and I think those sort of beautiful tips that you gave us in terms of making that commitment to moving and you know, eating with a purpose rather than without a purpose. And I would suggest you've done really well. So go and get that bowl of ice cream with the ginger and with the olive oil. You've deserved it. It's your treat, my dear. Yes, and if you've got any questions, you know, find Karlien on Holistically Karlien 365. Is that right? Holistic Living
365 with Karlien.
That's the one. Find her there. So so that's wonderful. I did record this. I forgot to mention this at the start, but you know, we didn't touch on anything too intimate, so it's all good. Thank you so much for spending time with us this evening. I hope you learned a little bit more. It was so beautiful to see you. Lovely to see you, Monica, and your little one there, and Sophia as well from Bangkok, and Diane from the Gulf Coast. It's so cool just to see everybody here. So enjoy the rest of your day or your evening, wherever you are. All right, guys. Love you heaps.
Thank you.
Talk
Bye.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.